Sometimes it can feel like all the odds are stacked against us. Life can throw a series of unfortunate events our way, making us feel isolated and defeated. But what if I told you that no matter how bleak things may seem, hope is never lost? That's exactly what the story of Daniel in the lion's den teaches us. Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the profound truths of the Bible to inspire and motivate you in your walk with Christ. Today, let's embark on a journey through the life of Daniel, a man whose unwavering faith in God led him to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges and emerge victorious. Let's dive into the narrative. Set in the ancient kingdom of Babylon, our story revolves around Daniel, a young Jewish exile who, along with his friends, had been taken captive from Judah. Despite finding himself in a foreign land, far away from his homeland, Daniel remained steadfast in his commitment to the Lord. One day, King Darius, who had ascended to the throne after Nebuchadnezzar, appointed Daniel to a position of great responsibility as the chief administrator over all the affairs of the vast kingdom. This appointment was a testament to Daniel's exceptional wisdom and ability, which had been recognized even in a foreign court. However, the envy and discontent of the other officials toward Daniel soon began to brew. They conspired and devised a plan to deceive the king into signing a decree that would make it illegal to pray to any deity except the king for 30 days. Their intention was clear: to trap Daniel, who was known for his devoted prayer life, into disobeying the decree so they could have him put to death. As soon as the decree was issued, people throughout the empire ceased their prayers, turning instead to the king for their needs and desires. Daniel, upon hearing this news, went home and knelt down before his window, which faced Jerusalem, and prayed 3 times a day, just as he had done before. He didn't let the fear of persecution hinder his devotion to God. Daniel's heart was full of gratitude and reverence for the Lord. He was unmoved by the threat of imprisonment or death. His faith was anchored deep within him, unshakable and resolute. The trap had been set, and Daniel unknowingly walked right into it. The men whom Darius had appointed to guard the city kept a close watch on Daniel, waiting for him to break his daily prayer habit. When they saw him praying, they immediately arrested him and took him before King Darius. Upon hearing the charges against Daniel, Darius was troubled. He had great respect for Daniel, recognizing his competence and contributions to the kingdom. However, the king was bound by the law, and according to the decree, he could not revoke it. Darius was sympathetic to Daniel's plight, knowing that it was a test of his faith. He offered Daniel the chance to recant his beliefs and save his life, but Daniel stood firm. That evening, Daniel was cast into the lion's den, a dark and dank pit filled with roaring lions. It was a place of death, where anyone who entered would most likely be torn apart by the hungry beasts. As the entrance to the den was sealed, the king left, troubled by what he had done. Throughout the night, Daniel remained calm amidst the darkness and the sound of growling lions. He knew that his fate was in the hands of the Lord. For Daniel, his relationship with God was more important than anything else. His trust in divine providence guided him, giving him peace in the face of danger. As the first rays of sunlight peeked through the darkness, the king returned to the lion's den. With a heavy heart, he called out to Daniel, asking if the God he served had been able to protect him. In response, Daniel opened his eyes and turned toward the king. To Darius' surprise and disbelief, Daniel emerged unharmed from the den. Overcome with joy and gratitude, King Darius ordered the soldiers to open the den and pull Daniel out. As Daniel stepped out, not a single mark or injury was found on him. The king and everyone present were astonished to see that the lions had not harmed him. Instead, they seemed to have parted before him. With trembling hands, King Darius asked Daniel, "You servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you?" Daniel, still calm and composed, replied, "My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions." This response only added to the awe and wonder experienced by everyone there. It was then that King Darius realized the power of the God whom Daniel served. In a grand gesture, he ordered that Daniel be lifted up with ropes, and an inscription was made declaring that he was the God of gods and the Lord of kings. Darius also commanded that no one should ever again defy the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. As word spread about Daniel's miraculous deliverance, people from all over the kingdom came to see him. Each person marveled at the account of the prophet being thrown into the lion's den and coming out unscathed. Daniel's faithfulness in prayer and his unwavering belief in God's protection had led him to victory. This remarkable event not only demonstrated the power of God, but also served as a testimony to Daniel's deep faith and commitment to serving the Lord. From that day forward, Daniel's reputation grew even more, and he continued to serve the king with wisdom and integrity. His story became a beacon of hope for those facing adversity, reminding them of the faithfulness of God and the triumph of good over evil. The story of Daniel in the lion's den is an account of unwavering faith, courage, and divine intervention. Daniel's steadfast commitment to his faith in the face of persecution and death serves as a powerful example for believers today. It reminds us that no matter how challenging the circumstances may seem, our faith in God should remain strong and unyielding. Furthermore, this story teaches us that God is just and righteous. He cares for those who serve Him faithfully, and He will not allow their faith to be tested beyond their capacity. Daniel's miraculous deliverance from the lion's den showcases the protective nature of God towards His children. It assures us that when we trust in Him and seek His guidance, He will be with us through our struggles and will provide a way out of our difficulties. Moreover, the story highlights the importance of remaining faithful in the midst of opposition and persecution. Daniel's decision to continue praying despite the threat of imprisonment and death demonstrates the transformative power of faith. It inspires us to stand firm in our beliefs, even when faced with adversity, knowing that God will honor our faithfulness. Finally, the account of Daniel in the lion's den serves as a reminder that God can turn our weaknesses into strengths and use our seemingly impossible situations to display His glory. Daniel's bravery in confronting the lioness den enabled God to demonstrate His power and deliver not only Daniel, but also those who witnessed His deliverance. It reminds us that God can work through our vulnerabilities to accomplish His purposes, and that our weaknesses can become testimonies to His strength. So when you find yourself in challenging circumstances, may the story of Daniel in the lion's den encourage you to trust in God's righteousness. Lean on His protective nature, remain faithful in prayer, and recognize that God can use your weaknesses to reveal His glory. Remember that you are never alone in your struggles, and God is always ready to help those who call on His name. What's your biggest takeaway from the story of Daniel in the lion's den? We would love to hear from you in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to share this video with friends and family who need to hear this message of hope and encouragement. And for more uplifting content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the timeless teachings of the Bible. May God bless you, and until next time.